welcome to the Cynthia Mannion Show. I'm your host, Cynthia Mannion, and tonight we have someone refreshingly different joining us. Yes, Tim Gillette calls himself a grumpy old man, and I mean that in the best way possible. He's an online mentor, website strategist, and content creator who helps entrepreneurs turn their ideas into simple, effective online systems that actually produce results. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Tim is a 7-time #1 best-selling author on Amazon, an award-winning podcaster, and award-winning blogger. But here's what makes him different. After 13 years in the marketing trenches, he's done with the guru game. He's seen the empty promises, haven't we all? The shortcuts that don't work, and he's left all of that behind. In March 2023, Tim challenged himself. Launch a business in 90 days using the same methods he'd been coaching clients on. So, on March 21st, 2023, Simple Easy Websites was born. Now he helps business owners, coaches, and creators build websites, content, and marketing systems designed for clarity, action, and momentum, not complexity. His approach is straight talk, no nonsense. What works, what doesn't, and why taking action beats overthinking every time. Tim lives in Dallas with his wife, Gwen, 3 adult kids, 2 grandsons, a granddaughter, and a cat named Kiwi. His message is simple. You can achieve great things. Skip the shortcuts. Do the hard work up front. Where have you heard that before? And you create your success. Now go on, make it happen. Please join me in welcoming the refreshingly honest Tim Gillette to the Cynthia Mannion Show. Tim! Welcome!
I was wondering who that guy was you were saying all those nice things about.
I know. How happy are you?
Hey, I'm loving life. I never have a bad day anymore. What they say, any day above ground is a good day. I'll take it.
Well, Tim, you call yourself a grumpy old man in a good way. What does that actually mean? And why is that a business advantage?
Well, I want to tell you that it's all sunshine and roses, but it's not, right? Life isn't sunshine and roses. We have bad days. We have things that go wrong. And, I learned that, as much as I've been around the positive world, I've been around the self-help world for 35 years, as a matter of fact, now, I just can't get behind that. You have to always put a smile on. No, some days you want to curse out your neighbor and tell him what's what. It's just a feeling you have, right? Doesn't mean you act on it all the time, but it's reality. It's what most of us are dealing with. And then usually we when we're dealing with it, someone comes on and says, "Oh, just be positive." And you want to punch him in the face. You're like, I don't want to be positive right now. That's how we all feel. Let's be real about it, right? Doesn't mean we go punch our neighbors in the face. We must be responsible. We must be nice to people. All right. But let's be honest with that's how we always feel. All right. How are you going to get past that now? Now that you know you're there, how do you get past it?
Okay. Well, are you 58? 58?
I'm 59.
59?
59. Yeah, I just turned 59 in September. So yeah.
Well, happy past birthday. You just launched a new business in 2023. Tell us about that decision. Why did you start something new at this stage?
It has been something I've always told my clients. You got to be not afraid to start things, not afraid to do things. You got to be not afraid to take the action to get it done. In 2019, the television show came out with Glenn Stearns. It was called Undercover Billionaire, and those are the things that, first of all, it drives me. All right, the entrepreneur who's willing to fight everything drives me. All right, I love their stories. I love it. And I watched that show come out, and I went, I want to do that. Not necessarily so I can create $1 million business, but because I want the challenge of doing that. And I've looked into it for several years, and then the pandemic happened, and I was sitting listening to a mutual friend of ours was actually on another mutual friend of ours show. I was listening to, I think it was Ken Walls on, whose show was Ken on?
Hey, Ken, maybe the Ken and Glenn show.
No, he was a guest on someone else's show one night, and he was talking about he said, and I remember Ken saying it. He said, you can create a business nowadays. Go into ChatGPT and make it your CEO and tell them this is what you want to do and have it write you a plan. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have to travel to some foreign town to create a business. I can just create another one right here and right now. Mm-hmm. And I at the time I'd owned the trademark on Simple Easy Marketing. Well, I looked at, I called my trademark lawyer up and I said, hey, any chance I could get the trademark on Simple Easy websites? And he goes, yeah, it'd be a steal for you because you already have one angle of it and you're in the same area. This is, well, we're starting a new business tomorrow morning, Simple Easy Websites, because it was available, simpleeasywebsites.com. And I said, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to build template websites for people. I'm going to help the ideal people I love, those entrepreneurs who are willing to get out there and try. They're my bread and butter. They're the people I love helping. And we're just going to try it and see what happens. And, I want to say we were valued at the end of our first year a little over six figures. So I don't want, not the exact numbers, but it was a little over six figures we were valued after the first year. And I'm like, not bad for a business. I didn't take a dime out of my pocket to build it. I built it all on credit card and all on debt. All right. So I now have a whole regular source of income from it. It's a business that thrives on its own, and it didn't cost me a dime to start it. So I took that same concept and just made it work.
Yeah. Sweet. You spent 13 years in the marketing trenches?
So I started in 2009, 2010 working in marketing. And I started it because I was being kind of pushed into speaking, as in, business speaking or motivational speaking. I sold my last other business in 2004. And I was a mobile car wash business here in the Dallas area. And one of my at-home clients, so I did office towers and stuff, but one of the at-home clients that I had was a guy named Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you've ever heard the guy or not. All right. He was a person. Yeah. Zig was a personal friend of mine, and all of his kids till this day are still personal friends of mine. And even when I was retiring, I agreed that I would always speak over there at their event, at their offices once a year. Till this day, I still speak there once a year because it's my obligation to Zig. But Zig seen something in me in 2004 when I sold the car wash business. He said, you should be a speaker. And I'm like, Zig, who wants to see this? What value am I going to bring to the table? I'm not Zig Ziglar. And he pointed out to me that the church we went to had a men's prayer breakfast every Friday morning. And on average, about 1,300 to 1,800 people showed up every Friday morning. Wow. And one Friday morning, the pastor just randomly picked me. Hey, Tim Gillette, I want you to come up here and say the prayer this morning, get us started off. And I got up, walked up the steps, and I grabbed the microphone, said the prayer, and microphone back down, walked back and sat down. And Zig says, Tim, you realize that I have to spend years telling people not to have their knees knock when their name's called to do that. You do it let's go get lunch. Good. And I still, in my mind, I don't get that it's a problem. I just don't. And that's what Zig seen to me. He said, you should be a speaker. You should be on stages talking. And I'm like, I didn't see the value into it. This was 2004. It was 2009, after Zig had his stroke and he's really in failing health. And I seen him and Gene at something. And I just looked at him. And at the time I had long hair and I looked like Tom Petty and a hippie and everything. And I looked at him and I'm like, having Zig Ziglar tell you should be a speaker. It's kind of like having Bill Clinton tell you should run for office. You know what I mean? The guy's done it once or twice. He kind of knows who can do it and who can't. And I said, I'm someone who always tells people to use their resources. And here, I'm not using a resource that Zig's seen in me. So I need to step up to the plate and find out what this is all about. And it may be a career. I may be great at it or not. But I remember saying to Zig, I'm going to go get a haircut. I'm going to buy a suit and a tie, and I'm going to go do this. And Zig's like, no. He said, whatever this hippie thing is, he says, you need to work with it. All right. And I that's why I was a speaker from 2009 to 2020 before I cut my hair. I had long hair and I would speak on stages as Tim. I started out as a rocker life coach, the rock and roll dude, and, all that stuff. But, it never bothered me. And I got into it because Zig said, Tim, you should do it.
We have a picture of you as a rocker with your band, the Sticks.
Yeah, Sticks, a little band that I kind of hung. No, Interesting story is yeah, I actually was part of an event here in Dallas where I got to go backstage to meet Styx, and you get to take a picture. And while you're doing your pictures, they said, okay, you get to do one nice shot, all right, and you can do one fun shot. So in my mind,
And there it is.
I said
Woohoo!
to the band ahead of time, I said, I'm going to be the rock star, and you all are going to point at me like I'm the rock star. And you see, Tommy got really into it. All right. The piano player, keyboard, he got into it. But the guy in the end, Todd, he's the drummer. He just, you know, Ricky, who's no longer, he was their bass player at the time. Ricky's on the other end, and he's not with the band anymore. And then the guy with the glasses in the background there, he's the original, one of the original brothers who founded Styx. So, and I actually was at another function like 2 or 3 years after this, and ran into Todd, the drummer. And I said, Todd, I don't know if you remember me. I said, I have this cool picture with you guys that I took in Irving, Texas. And he said, Tim, I remember that picture. He said, we talked about you in the dressing room after that picture was taken. He said, no one's ever had this come up with an idea to do that with you. And I was like, you just lit us up. And I was like, well, I said, I'm glad I was an inspiration to you. Just lighten you up, man, but it was a fun thing to do. All the members of the band, you know what I mean? I didn't get to talk with them a lot of them individually, but they're all great people. Styx has been one of the most inspiring bands I've ever listened to. And I think I've seen them in concert. Believe it or not, I've seen them in concert more than most bands. I think it was 14 times I've seen them in concert. So
nice.
Yeah.
What fabulous. What a great picture. What a great momentum to show your grandchildren.
Yeah. You gotta have fun experiences in life, and nowadays we all can get a camera to take pictures of it. So
yeah, it's amazing. Grace says, don't you think you have personal qualities that light to the limelight, which helps being a public personality? Thank you, Grace Cavalieri.
Personal qualities that I have personal qualities about me that make me a standout. I am truthfully an introvert. All right. My biggest joy is sitting in this office with the door closed and it's quiet. That's my biggest joy in life. Part of going out to do things like this or speaking on stages, which I'll be speaking on 2 more stages tomorrow and Friday here in the Dallas area. And then next month I'm in Los Angeles and stuff speaking. When I step on stage, that first few minutes, I'm going in my mind. So I always try to find something to relax me. All right. To be out there, to make that personality go. Because the one thing I did learn from Zig, when I step on that stage, when I come here to this program, and I'm here to be interviewed, it's not about me. It's about impressing you and helping you. Because if I'm here just to pat myself on the back, we're wasting our time. I'm here to bring something out of you tonight. I don't know what it is that you go home and you go, because I watched this interview tonight, I'm going to go do, and you write it down on a piece of paper and you go do it. All right. That's why I'm here. So I have to do things that may not be comfortable for me, but they have to be done to motivate you to go do the work.
Lovely. So what's the difference between a marketing guru and what you do? How do you approach things differently?
I personally, because I never liked the word guru. All right. And that's part of my things with the industry and in 2022 timeframe, I sat in my mentor's house when he lived here in the Colony, Texas, which 12 miles from my house, in a room. I was probably one of his prize students at the time, in a room full of new people in his elite program. And I stood up and said, I'm done. I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. There's too many phonies in this industry, and I do not want to be part of it anymore. And it bothered me. And there are a lot of those people who call themselves gurus, that it's all about them. It's not about helping people. And so many of them, and I've heard this phrase, and I will not tell you who said it, because I've been around a lot of big people. And I heard this phrase one time. Well, you need to find a way to charge them. They've got money.
Ouch. And
that, I'm like, that's not self-help. That's me helping myself, not helping the people I'm helping. You know what I mean? That to me is the biggest difference between what I do and what a quote unquote guru does. A guru is looking to sell you something. I may impress you to buy my next book or make you say, I'm never touching one of his books. I don't know. I'm not here to sell books. I'm here to change lives. And that's it. And if I have to anger you to change your life, good, change your life. I don't care that you have to buy my next book. I appreciate it, but I'm not here to pitch it. So anyway, yeah.
Robert's got a comment here.
Yeah. I've heard that it's very possible to be an extroverted introvert. Yes. I know about 6 of them who are speakers, and some of them are a little more rowdy than me, and they are introverts. I know because of who my mentor is, I know a famous rock musician who is an introvert, and he hates getting on stage, but yet he does it. So, yeah.
The things we do, stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yes. Tony Robbins has a movie out, actually, I'm Not Your Guru. Have you seen that one? Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
It was. I mean, Tony does some good work. And outside of the regular speaking world, Tony does some good things out there. He gets involved in a lot of things. Coming from a guy who worked for Jim Rohn and then built out on his own, you know, he does an awful lot to help people. He happens to be one of the most famous people and biggest success stories in our industry. All right. And, you know, I don't know him personally enough to say, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I know that he's changed a lot of lives. That's all I can say about it. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He was when I chatted with him.
Yeah. So I've never met him in person. I do know some of his right-hand man. I've done stuff with him, but anyway, yeah.
Yes, very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you stories, but it's your show. You're a 7-time #1 best-selling author on Amazon. That's impressive. What are some of those books about? I have one up there. Eric, can you pop up that one that I pulled up, please?
Okay.
Anyway, back to your books.
So
7
times. I've been in a lot of compilation books. So my personal books that I've written were back in my rocker life coach days, and they were rock and roll songs in the books. And none of them, that one there was my first book. None of them have ever gone #1. Those aren't #1s. It's all the compilations that I did. So I wrote 3 books on my own, and then I'm part of 12 different compilation books. 7 of those compilation books went on to be #1 best-selling authors. And I don't do compilation books anymore. I'm done. I did that. Been there, done that. Okay, move on next. But yeah, this was my first book that I wrote, and I think I have 1 copy left here. It's not even in publication anymore. I did books around the idea of song titles, so you can always get what you want. My second one was Not Gonna Take It Anymore, and my third one was Taking Care of Business. So they were all around business, motivational, and rock and roll type ideas, but they were all if you read through this book, it's all a typical 6-step self-help plan. All right. It's just, I made the book titles something different and added a little bit of a rock and roll twist to it. So
as you're riding your Harley through America.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that too, I have 1 million miles on motorcycle, and I sold my last motorcycle in 2019. I have not gotten another one. And my friend Danny, who is the salesman who sold me 4 of my 7 bikes, every time I go say hi to Danny, he says, "You want me to run your credit, see if you can get a new bike?" And I'm like, "Nah, not right now."
Which one was your favorite one out of 7?
I owned a Screaming Eagle, which was called the custom vehicle operations one from Harley. There was one of 2000 made. It was blue with dark blue, light blue flames onto it. It had all custom out chrome. There's a picture somewhere online with Glenn Morshower sitting on it.
Oh, really? I want to find that one.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you where to find them either.
Oh, Eric, see if you can find that one.
Good luck. I don't even know where it is.
Amazing.
There's a picture with Craig, because that same night Craig was there and he sat on it. Got a picture with him. I had it at a Craig Dutswald event where I had Duff McKagan sitting on it.
Very fun.
Actually, connect with Duff over motorcycles. Yeah. My motorcycle riding had gotten me into more places than you want to know. I come home from the Harley dealer one day getting my bike serviced, and I'm not a sports person, although I mean I'm into it, but not really. And a guy was getting a bike similar to mine, and he was this big, tall, black guy. And I remember, I mean, because I was down on the floor looking at his bike, and he was towering over me. And I just started talking motorcycles with him. That's all I did. And while talking motorcycles with him, he took my card, he called my phone, and he said, you know, he wanted to ride with me and get to know me. And everybody made a big deal about it, except for me at the dealer. I didn't know who this guy was. So I come home and I asked my wife, I said, who's Nate Newton? I don't know this guy, right? He was a star football player for the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't know. And my wife's like, no way you met Nate Newton. I'm like, yeah, I'm going riding with him on Tuesday.
That's fabulous. What year was that ish?
That would have been 2013.
2013.
So, yeah.
It's funny. I actually was the merchandise manager for Harley Davidson Contemporary Sportswear.
Really?
Did the magic shows, and my brother was a Harley biker, and yeah, I got stories too. Wow.
I proposed to my wife at the Harley Davidson Museum.
Ooh, very cool.
So, you would not believe the trouble I went through to make that happen.
I love the chop of a high HP tuned open pipe Harley.
Well, yeah, I don't. The older you get, the noisier they become.
So in March 2023, Grace says, how do marketing and self-help intersect?
So the self-help industry, the self-help industry, the people who are successful in it have marketed themselves. That's just the bottom line. Is it? I used marketing products. Like a lot of my informational products were how to build a podcast, how to build a blog, all right, how to build a webinar, things like that along marketing terms. And I say this every now and then, not only in the marketing aspect, because I learned how to market and sell things because I didn't know in the beginning and I had to figure it out. But in the self-help industry, I have probably written about close to over 500 other people's coaching products as a ghostwriter. And most people, like, I can't tell you who they are because I wrote them for someone else. But and that's like currently what I'm working on in self-help industry is there are 3 programs that I've had sitting on the shelf for almost 10 years. One of them I actually wrote the outline for it the week after, if you remember the shooting in Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas the week after that to do a one-day mastermind with James Malinchak. And I got so inspired, I went back to my hotel room and wrote the outline for this one program. And I've had it sitting here since then. And it was just last month that I was able to put that program, the newest one that I've been working on since September, and a third one together to go, okay, these are all going to go together in one whole new, shall I say, vehicle? It's a whole vehicle of things. But anyway, yeah.
How exciting. We'll have
and it won't, yeah, like I do my first talk onto it in March. March 5th is the first talk I will do onto it because we're not quite done with it yet. Yeah.
Oh, well, we want to hear more, don't we?
Yeah.
So in March 2023, you challenged yourself to launch that business in just 90 days. Why 90 days? What was the goal?
That was looking at the challenge from that TV show. They launched the thing in 90 days. And I know they did a season 2 of that with 3 people, one of them being Grant Cardone and 2 ladies. Yeah. And still kind of inspired by the way they did it. They did it in 90 days, but like Grant's got broken up because of the pandemic, but he's still in the clockwork of it in 90 days. And I think his was evaluated at like 8 million or something like that. It was a very high number that his was evaluated at. And I'm like, if Grant Cardone can do it, I can do it. There
you go. Love it.
Yeah.
You like March for launching things because on March 21st, 2023, you did as you mentioned, Simple Easy website was born.
Yeah.
So what is Simple Easy websites and who is it for our audience who haven't discovered it yet?
So the name is Simple Easy websites because that has always been my branding with Simple Easy products, but we decided to do it in a template type website. So we do websites. Our basic is a 5-page website that we do for people that will actually help get them leads. And I can write the sales copy for just about any website anybody out there to help you, as long as you help me with your idea of what your industry is. I can help you write the copy and write it and have it up in a matter of like 7 to 10 days. But then we do some like 10 and 15 page websites for people. I'm working on an inn from Vermont that we just brought them on in the past month, doing their website there, an inn and eatery up there. And theirs is 27 pages with all of their rooms and every breakout. But that's like a custom job. For most of it, it's people need a small website to get going. We had my Tim Gillette show podcast. One of the requirements over the years was you had to have a website, a working website. And one of my best friend's son could not get on because he didn't create his website in time. And yes, I had restrictions on being on my show. And one of them was have to have a website. And I used to tell people, well, I can create a website for you in one day. It's not that hard, to do it. And in all the marketing with websites came to me in 2009 when I started. A lot of people back then, because I was learning marketing, said, oh, you don't need a website anymore. You don't need it. All you need is social media. You don't need that stuff anymore. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to do a website and build an email list just to be safe. All right. The dozen or so people who told me I didn't need a website, I didn't need an email list, they have jobs now. I'm still, 16 years later, I'm still in business for myself. So I think I have an idea on maybe you should have a website. So, yeah.
You've been using the same methods that you've been coaching clients on. What are those methods?
So a lot of stuff is very, very simple, comes down to it. All right. You need an engine to build your business, your income stream is an engine. You got to have something, an engine. You got to have, your personal growth in that engine for business. And personal growth is almost like a transmission in your car. All right. That transmission in your car, you can get in your car and you can shift through the gears. Right. But if you have something bad in one or two areas of your life, you're going to grind in that gear. You're not going to work in that gear. All right. But the faster you can learn on how to develop habits in all these areas of your life, the faster you can accelerate in any business you go into or any job you go into. That's the premise behind it. And not to give away too much because it's coming out and it's going to come out in a new program all about automotive. All right. All based off of the automotive and it's going to be Success is Mechanical. I think that's the domain name we have for it. So it's beautiful. Right now, I think the one web page is up, gearshiftmethod.com, that is about the transmission and life growth. So
how exciting. Coming up in March.
Yeah. So yeah. And it's to me, it's always been something that if I can find somebody and find all the things into their life that can make them move through the gears and succeed faster and get them past the things that are holding them up, I can get them out. One of my clients is a Disney Imagineer who's been behind the cameras her entire life. In 2018, she joined our mastermind and she was in a lot of high-end people's masterminds, high-end people's coaching programs. In 1 year of being in our mastermind, she couldn't come to the 1 year event because of the fact that she was out filming for the Food Network for a TV show. We got her on TV shows that quick because we learned how to put all the gears in place to make everything function. And when all that works and fast, you can get up and going faster. And most people will never sit back and analyze it to find out what'll make them drive, what'll get them going. I will push you. I will find out what it is and I will make you go there because I don't do this just to keep you engaged in my program. I have had dozens of people come in and go through my mastermind and program and back out. And to me, it's about helping people and getting results in your life and your business. It's not about how I can maintain my coaching clients. And I got an 85 or 95% continuum, right? They stay with me. I want to continue. I want to rate that how many people succeed. So
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Put up Eric, put up where people can reach out to him because they probably want to jump on right now because that is gold.
Yeah. No.
Oh, there we go.
There's my Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook quite a bit. Yeah, I got a bad habit of watching Facebook Reels. I don't know why.
Oh, there's a lot of good ones on there. Is that your favorite one? Here we got your Instagram.
Yeah. So Yeah, a lot of things on Instagram. If you go through the Instagram, you can see some of the stuff, some of the projects what I do around the house and projects I do. I think I even took my train trip. I actually put out on my Instagram page, things like that. So
Yeah, to San Antonio.
I actually we took a trip last year, and over the summer we went to San Antonio and back on the train. But in September, because I was trying to come up with which is part of the one of the three programs, I decided to take a train back from Los Angeles from when I was at Craig Duswalt's event to finish out the outline for that program on the train. So I went from San Francisco or from Los Angeles all the way to Dallas on train.
What fun. How long?
That was 2.5 days. I left there at midnight Sunday. I was home on Tuesday.
You get a sleeper car?
Yes, yes.
Very fun. Very,
Yeah.
very, very fun.
It is. Yeah.
Hello, Cynthia, and hello, Tim. Lovely to see you again after all these years. Very
Mm.
wonderful to listen to your stories and updates. Patricia Geigich.
Oh, I love Patricia. She's
I
such a
love
sweet person. She's actually, because of Patricia on my show, I've had like a dozen people that Patricia introduced me to that were on my Tim Gillette show when we were during the pandemic. We did probably we tried to do 100 shows in 30 days, and she put me on with 12 people that she knew. So yeah.
Fabulous. So Sandy Shell, hey, how are you? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, share this out. This is gold.
Mm-hmm.
Why do so many entrepreneurs complicate their online presence?
I think a lot of people in the entrepreneur space, there's just too much noise going on in our world right now. And that's marketing. You've got to find out a way to get your message past the marketing. All right. And there's so much noise out there that the person who has never stopped to focus on anything in their life can get caught up in the noise. They can hear your message today, my message tomorrow. All right. Patricia's on Thursday. All right. And it go and forget that what Cynthia told me on Monday was what I really needed to do. But because I heard Tim on Tuesday, I'm now not listening to Cynthia anymore. And it's bad. It's a bad thing. Great. I would love it if you listened to me, but you know what? You got to find that core and you got to stick with it. Right. And we have a rule in my mastermind that if you're in my mastermind and you hear a speaker, you can't buy their program until you have a phone call with me. If you do, you will not be allowed to renew in my mastermind, because we had one gentleman who did that and lost because he got stuck in a long-term contract that he couldn't afford to have that free cash to build his business, because he just listened to what the hot thing was at the moment and bought it. Ouch. And yeah, we don't tolerate that, because that at least I need you to focus on one thing. If you can focus on one thing, ladies and gentlemen, you will be successful. That focus is where you're failing. You're hearing too much noise and you're not getting things done. Focus on one thing. Once that's successful, then have something complement it.
That's resonating with me. What about you, ladies and gentlemen? Something to think about, something to focus on, for real. Oh my goodness. You focus on websites, content, and marketing systems designed for clarity and action and momentum. Can you break down what each of those means, just in case some of our focus is all over the place?
So if your focus is all over the place, it's one of the reasons why we created the gear shift method, and it's going to be out here next month. But it's you've got to learn to focus on the one area and then shift up to the next area, and you got to learn to evaluate where you are. If you're trying to launch a business and you're struggling and you can't get enough income to add the second tier to your business, well, it's not time to expand your business. It's time to focus on that one thing and get it cash flowing. All right. Like website company. I know a lot of people have a website company, and then they have a social media division, and they have an SEO division, and they have all these different divisions. We don't. We do websites. That's all we do is websites. You need SEO. We got great. I got a guy in California. You need social media. Great. I have a lady here in Dallas. All right. Those are things we do rather than try to expand it. And here's why. The average person is going to be stuck in this survival mode, just trying to pay the bills. Well, you'll never build wealth survival mode, ever. You will always be surviving. You are never in a place to expand unless you have capital to expand. Most people who expand and don't have capital, they've got credit and credit lines and investors that they can tap into. If you're starting out, you don't. All right. If it's going to cost $100,000 to put on that new division of your company, you need to have $200,000 ready. Just saying. And that's where most people won't do it. You got to get the clarity around that idea that you got to have the capital, and not just capital money, capital mind space to handle it. You know what I mean? Because it's going to come up with challenges that you're going to have to face. And most people are not prepared to handle them, because as soon as the money challenge hits, then the mindset goes, right? And then they're stuck into a cycle with their original thing, trying to push two things and not able to sell either one of them.
That was the clearest, most comprehensive explanation I've ever heard of that.
And to me, it's all gibberish. No, I'm kidding.
What's the biggest mistake you see people making with their websites?
The people who are all focused on what they're going to get for SEO. Let me try to get the search engines defined to me. Great. What's your message? My own brother, I have 3 younger brothers, and I love every one of them dearly. My own brother came to me and said, well, I want to get a website where I get 1 million hits. Great. What are you going to give them? Well, if I have 1 million hits, I'm good. I'm like, 1 million people come to your website and they have nothing to do. They're going to leave your website. They're not going to do anything. You've got to have some substance to it. We build specifically, and we even teach people to build a lead generating websites. In other words, it's got to have the purpose. From the moment I land on your page, something better be there to keep me to look at the next part, to look at the next part, to look at the next part, and on until I get to the contact form and say, hey, Cynthia, I really want to connect to you. Let me fill out this contact form so you'll reach out to me.
What did you tell your brother?
I told my brother to go home and get a new idea.
And?
He's still working on it.
You say take action beats overthinking every time. So how do you help people get out of that analysis paralysis?
I told every one of my kids, I tell them, go screw something up. Oh. You know what I mean? Have you heard the analogy? I always use this analogy doing it. You ever heard the analogy of the football coach who he sees his star quarterback his quarterback drops the ball, and some guy on the other team grabs it and starts running because he could. So the quarterback runs faster than this other guy and catches him and tackles him before he gets a touchdown. Well, the coach comes up and says to the other coach, how did your quarterback do that? My running back is the fastest guy in the league, and your guy is the slowest. How did he beat him? He said, your guy was running for 7 points. My guy was running for his life because he screwed up. I would rather take action and have to go figure out how to fix what I screwed up than to wait for the perfect opportunity to face me. The perfect opportunity never comes, ever. You make the perfect opportunity. That's the truth. Always have believed it. I always will. All right. And you can call me out on it anytime you want. I'll prove I'm right.
I'm sure you will. Someone come up with something to challenge Tim with. Put it in the chat. That'd be interesting. How does that hard work up front look like in building an online business? Why are people trying to do shortcuts?
The world of social media, we all think that social media is the answer. We think that we can just do Facebook posts, or we can do Twitter posts, or X, or whatever it's called now, or Instagram. And goes back to that thing, 2009, everybody told me social media, you don't need that. 2015, live streaming kind of got popular with an app called Blab. And a lot of people got out there and they were broadcasting shows, and they said, oh man, we don't need websites. We got Blab. We can do a live show like you're doing right now. We don't need that stuff. And I remind them now, not back in 2016, but in 2020, you can stick by social media all you want. But in 2020, the sitting president of the United States got kicked off social media. Now, granted, we don't like him. A lot of us don't like him, and I'm not here to debate that. But he was the sitting president of the United States, and he got kicked off social media. If they can kick him off, do you think they can kick you off too? You've got to take steps that build your foundation. And as much as I don't want to say that guy, I'm not even going to say his name, but the guy is the sitting president of the United States. Go follow his history and study it. That man did everything in the world to prep for this, whether he was planning that all along or not. But he did all that thing so that when that happened, he was set up to do it. Uh-oh, we got a visitor. We got to bring this guy up here. So,
good. Okay.
All right. This is Jesper. He is my grandson, my middle grandchild.
Hello. How old are you?
He's 2 years old.
2.
he will sit on my lap and watch the whole thing.
Terrific twos.
Yeah. Won't you?
Terrific twos.
You doing okay? Say hi. No.
I have a granddaughter who's 1.
My granddaughter will be 1 in April, and I have there's a picture out there.
He can stay. He can stay. Eric B. Fernord had a little comment here. Eric, if you can pop that back up.
All right.
Peace and blessings to all this evening. My apologies, I'm late to the party, but God bless all. Great for to be here with our mermaid and host of the hour. Thank you, Eric. And you can share this out, and you can catch the replay so you don't miss the party. I wouldn't want you to miss any of these beautiful little nuggets of gold that Tim's been dropping.
No.
What's in your sippy cup?
Looks like it's just apple juice, but
apple juice.
Anyway, he gets to be on a lot of things with Grandpa. He just started. My daughter started work, and he just started going to daycare, and we have to pick him up. We're not gonna make noise.
I heard Grandpa built you a chicken coop. Tell us about the chickens. What sound do the chickens make?
You say chicken sound? What's the chicken sound? What's the fire truck say? What's the fire truck do?
Eric, let's see those chicken pictures, the chicken coop that Tim built. So he's out there doing green anchors is our place to be. There he is. Look at that.
So that was the original chicken coop that we had when we got it. And that's actually my grandpuppy, and that's not him. That's my oldest grandson, Coda, when Coda was a baby. We have a bigger coop now. That coop kind of their one started falling apart because it was one of those Tractor Supply ones. So, but anyway, and there's the chicks when they were born. So they're about 2 years old now, and we get probably about 4 or 5 eggs a day from them.
Nice. That's the way you do it. And I love this one. They look like they're making a heart. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Happy pre-Valentine's Day. Love, love, love. Spread love.
Yeah.
And we don't have one with him on top building the new one?
I don't
know. Grinch, your favorite. For a grumpy old man.
For a grumpy old man, the Grinch is it's always been one of those things that I've always kind of loved. And the Grinch is a little more popular since Jim Carrey did the movie. I love it. And so that there is a picture taken at the local sports bar that I have. We have a networking meeting there every Wednesday morning. And actually, I will be broadcasting my Like the Way You Drink podcast there on Monday night. It's down in the Colony, Texas. And that was during Christmas. One of the staff dressed up as the Grinch to walk around the community. So
adorable. And Glenn Morshower did a movie, Grumpy Old Santa.
Grumpy Old, yep. To which I pick on him for it now, and I call him. What's the name she called him in that? Do you remember? It was something.
Phone a friend. Hey, Glenn, what was that name?
What was that name? I go look at my text because the second I seen it, I texted Glenn, and I'm like, I can't believe. Stud Muffin. I think it was Stud Muffin. Yeah,
that's right. I only have a vision of him bowling.
Yes. So okay, you want to go play now? What you want to see? You want to say bye-bye?
It was very nice meeting you. Thanks for joining our podcast. It's nice to have little people on the Cynthia Mannion show. We'll raise you up right. You can tell us how Grandpa's doing.
Yeah, he wants to play with some business cards that are on my desk. I don't have any. All of his card toys are in the other room. This. Oh, you want to chew on that? It's a thumb drive I have that he wants to chew on.
Oh, maybe you can just download everything.
Download it all into the bind.
Easier.
Yes. There you go.
So you talk about building systems, not complexity. Give us an example of a simple system that works versus a complex one that doesn't.
Well, I mean, and it's as I said, it's part of the new program we're coming out. We're talking about systems. We're talking about the engine of a car works on 4 strokes, right? Well, you need to come up with like 6 to 7 strokes or 6 to 7 steps that make your business work. I actually have, and I'm glad you brought that question. I'm going to show it to you. I am a self-employed person, and I'm not a big business conglomerate. I'm just a self-employed guy. But as a self-employed guy, I have this with me every day. The Tim Gillette Media Operations Manual.
Oh,
This here, believe it or not, tells me, the current version, when I have to focus onto it, what I have to do, what my current focus is right now. It has a set of weekly tasks and daily tasks. And as things get added, you see them in handwritten in there because things change. Nothing ever stays the same. And then I break down each day. These are things I have to do each day. One of them, I have things in here. You're going to love this. On Mondays, I organize my office. On Thursdays, the first thing I have to do on Thursdays is take the sheets off the bed and put them in the washing machine.
excellent.
Right? I have it all down to little things. Saturday mornings, I have a list of what projects I'm working on in the house. On Thursday, I create those projects. I don't know what I'm going to be doing around the house menu, but this integrates my life and my business, all right, into a quick little things. And I have little quotes I put at the bottom of it. Consistency is really a real accountability system. This is the dumbest thing in the world, yet it's the simplest thing in the world. Write down the 7 things you have to do every day and put them down there and make yourself a checklist. For me, because I have 3 podcasts, I have to actually have a checklist of what I have to do with each podcast. So just because I record like you're doing here with me tonight, you're recording this. Well, tomorrow, after I record my podcast, I have to go upload the podcast. Then I've got to create a blog post about the podcast. Then I've got to create, there's steps that have to be done. And all you do is outline the steps, assign them to days of the week, and do them. And and you can take the most complex thing you've got to do and simplify it. And I was watching today an interview with Gene Simmons from KISS, which I love his interviews. He's a very, very smart businessman. And he said, the artists out there, the successful ones, they just go into their office and they work. They set up their typewriter or whatever it is, and they do the work. They don't sit there and go, well, I'm waiting for inspiration to come. No. Monday has tasks. You go do it. Tuesday has tasks. You go do it. All right. Grandpa's going to ask you to go play now. Can you go play?
It was very nice meeting you. Thanks for joining us.
He will
a bonus visitor. Yes.
You get a bonus visitor. Yeah.
Love it. So you're an award-winning podcaster and blogger. What makes content actually work versus just existing? Having a plan, the discipline, but still, there's more.
Yeah. So my blogging came because I started blogging because that's how I learned what I was going to do, was blogging in 2009, 2010. And I kind of figured it out as I went along. I'm not going to say, Tim, no, I was screwing things up until I figured it out. 2013, my biggest, 2012, it was not 2012, my biggest breakthrough happened. And that was, up until then, I was writing motivational stuff and just trying to figure out what my niche was. And I decided to write a blog post about a rock and roll song that inspired me in the 1980s. And it was a story type song that I just have always been inspired by. And it was by the band Foreigner. It was called Jukebox Hero. I wrote a blog post, and it would have been in February, March of 2012. The day before, 35 people read my blog post. The day I wrote that blog post, 7,700 people came to read that blog post. That told me, Tim, this is the niche you need to go down the road. And I learned that niche. Because I learned that niche, I would then go on to take rock and roll ideas or rock and roll songs. And like a lot of my programs used to be named around rock and roll songs. And I used that concept for the longest time. In 2013, I beat the band, the Eagles, at their own keywords for 3 months straight during their tour of the history of the Eagles 2013. I beat their own. My search. I came up higher in the search than they did for their keywords because I learned to use blog posts about a subject, and I was able to write a blog post about subjects on their songs and beat them at their own game.
Wow.
And that's how I became an award-winning blogger, because I did that. In 2013, I also, with my blog, because a blog post I wrote the blog post in 2011, so it's not like I did it, but in 2013 is when it happened. The founder of Papa John's Pizza found my blog and called me because I wrote a blog post, said, entrepreneurs I want to meet, and it had his name. And he called me, and I was shocked. And it was about one of the few times in my life I've ever been starstruck, because I was shocked that this man just picked up the phone and called me.
Cool.
And it happened. Yeah, it was just cool things I learned. The podcasting, I started doing the podcast because Craig Duswalt pushed me into it in 2012, and we called it like internet radio shows back then. I did the first 2.5 years on Blog Talk Radio. I interviewed people like Guy Kawasaki, who was the original, one of the original, like, I don't know what they call them, not engineers, but like marketing people for Apple. I had him on. I actually had Larry Wingett on, which I was the first person ever to have Larry Wingett on Blog Talk Radio. Of course, I had people I know today, like Larry Broughton from Broughton Hotels.
Mhm.
Was there one unique one?
I've had him on the show.
Larry, yeah, Larry's a great guy. Larry's a great friend. Whenever I get in a jam, I can text Larry, and he'll spend 5 minutes with a thing to help me, because I don't do it that often. And I actually have a video someplace of Larry telling everybody how great I am, and I'm like, oh yeah,
oh fun. Post it.
Larry's he's a great friend. He's a great, and because I got this in Vermont because I talked with Larry.
Sweet, perfect.
Excuse me a second there. But with the podcasting, one of the unique things that I did over the years was I just learned to interview people and not have an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I probably 2017, 2018. I come up with the idea, rather than try to get 1 million downloads and get all focused on what everybody else is focused on, I built my whole podcast as a list building tool. And that is, Cynthia, I want to have you on my podcast. You come and apply. You have to join my email list to get on. If you say, no, I don't want to be on your email list, you don't get an invite to be a guest on the podcast. It's just
elementary, my dear Watson.
It does, yeah. But I don't use my list to go, well, let me sell you Tim Gillette's motivational stuff. No, I use my list as what I call, and it's coming out now, Connection 2026 is coming out, is I send an email out and I say, Cynthia, what do you do? Tell me about what you do and how you help people. And then I go, okay, tell me what you need and what can I connect you? And then the question is, if I know somebody who can help you, can I connect you? Yes or no? If I know somebody who needs your product, can I market and tell them about you? Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Do you believe that there's people who go no?
No, I don't believe that there's people that say no. Then why are they filling out the form in the first place?
But I mean, they get on I can't believe they want to get on a podcast to get marketed. And I don't have an agenda to my podcast other than telling everybody about you
and helping them.
You're doing with me.
And it's fun. And you learn more about other people.
Yeah.
Relationship capital.
So, I mean, and that's part of, that list asked in 2023, part of the reason why we chose the website business was people asked for the website on it. On that list, they said, hey, can we get a website? It said, can you help us find an affordable website solution? That's why we decided websites for the business model when we did that, because that's what people ask for. I don't come up with an idea and go, you know what? I think I'm going to sell people on this. Yeah, no, I ask people what they want, and then I find a tool to go get it for them.
So sweet.
Little boy keeps coming in.
So sweet.
Yeah.
You offer those coffee chats through your website, but you warn people to skip the sales pitch. So we know that's important to you.
Yeah. To me, I want to get, if I'm having a coffee chat with you and I don't know you, I don't care what you're selling that first time. I just want to talk with you. And I have people who I have conversations with all the time. And today I had conversations with 3 friends after my networking. And one of them, she does, paintless dent removal is her company. And I actually just had an accident with my truck a couple months ago, which I had somebody else, another company, do it. She's not mad at me, but sometimes I have chosen people. The other lady who sat with me, she is a Mary Kay person. Of course, it's Valentine's week, so I had to buy something from Mary Kay for my wife.
Sweet.
Well, so, but that every one of the people who find me, they all listen to what I say is be building a list. Everything you do, be building a list. Don't try to sell everybody. Just build a list and ask people what they want. And that's what I do. I build lists and ask people on the list what they want, and I try to find a way to go get it for them. Sometimes I get paid an affiliate fee. Sometimes I don't. But I'm helping people along the way. And when people, do a presentation and they say, well, here's my kids, and this is my why. I love my kids. I love my grandkids. They're my family, but they're not my why. I'm on this planet, and my why on this planet has been, and I wrote this down many, many years ago. I wanted to get 10,000 people online, help them build an audience of 10,000 people so that they can make an income of $10,000 a month from it. That's what drives me. And whether your business is a podcast like this or your business is I want to start a house painting business. Great. Let me help you get an online presence.
Speechless. Let's see. You describe yourself as what? An encourager, a motivator, an inspiring friend. None of these sound very grumpy. So
grumpy is just the truth of being. Is just the truth of being. That's how my attitude is, and I don't deny it. It goes back to being the positivity. Yeah, I'm not a positive person all the time. I look at the everything that can go wrong. That's just who I am. I'm honest with that. Now that I know everything that can go wrong, what can I do to fix it? That's just my angle about it. And skepticism has its place. But for some people, skepticism, they can't take it. They have to be around positivity or they won't change. And I've had people leave my coaching when I hit them with the hard truth. They go, oh, I don't want this. I only wanted you to tell me I feel good. I'm like, it's called coach, not cheerleader.
Yeah. And I think we often can use the true beam of wisdom and truth.
Yeah.
Because we go in la la land and I have to bring it back to center. You say on your site, you create success. Now go make it happen. What does that mean to you personally?
I create success by helping you find what it is you need today. Whether you take the steps to make it happen, that's up to you. But I'm going to do everything in my power to help you do it. And any one of you who are listening to this, all right, if we haven't had a personal conversation, I'll have a personal conversation with you because I want to help you find success. Success is not a motivation. Success is not a thing. Success is mechanics. That's all you got to do. You got to do the mechanics to get successful.
So what's your one message for someone watching tonight who's been stuck in that overthinking mode?
Am I allowed to use 4-letter words?
No.
Get off your effing butt and take action. I dare you to fail at something next week. That's the best way I can put it. I dare you to fail at something.
Best online business myth you want to bust right now?
Social media is not the answer.
One tool every entrepreneur absolutely needs.
A website.
Best decision you ever made. Best business decision you ever made.
How much time? We don't have much time left here. As a child, when I was 21 years old, I had a boss who told me to run his company like I owned it. And I have taken ownership of everything I have done in my life because of that. One boss who said, Tim, you want to never make a mistake running my company. Act like you own this company and you won't make a bad decision.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Like that. Very powerful.
Thank you, Frank, and God bless you. I know he's not here anymore, but yeah.
Yes, and thank you for letting us get that wisdom beam down on us. Complete the sentence. Success in online business is really about
taking action.
Okay, so last question. What does your daily routine look like? You get up in the morning, you make your bed, you don't touch your phone, you drink your water, you go exercise, you play with the kids, feed the dog, the cat.
I get up in the morning. The first thing I do is make my bed. Period.
Me too.
My bed first thing, and that's actually in my book. I get up and make my bed first. I used to not take a shower first. I used to go out and go get my coffee, go out and meditate first. But now I get up and take a shower, and then I exit my room. Before I do anything in my world, I go to Starbucks, my local Starbucks, and I have coffee. I will not take my computer in. I will take my phone in because I have to pay for the drink. But I now have got a Bible app on my phone that I could read the Bible there. But I spend 15 to 25 minutes just sitting and meditating. Maybe I'll read God's word a little bit. But that's a demand on my day. I must spend time clearly getting my thought process before I come back to the office. And then I'll come back to the office and work. And like nights like tonight, my wife is out of town. She's on a business trip. I will close tonight and I will put my grandson to bed and I will work in my office here until midnight tonight.
What time do you get up?
I will get up at 7:15 a.m. every morning.
How do you define success for yourself right now?
I get to do what I want, when I want, for as long as I want, and no one's stopping me.
Beautiful. Sounds like a good life plan, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out to Tim. I know you want to hear more. Share this out. Eric, if you could put up his, yes, facebook.com. Tim Gillette rocks. And doesn't he rock? Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Cynthia Mannion Show. Please share this out. And thank you, Tim. You are wonderful.
Thank you.
God bless and happy Valentine's Day, everybody.